Lovely to see you again. How's everything going and how good does it feel to be back in the one circle?
I'm feeling really good. It's really nice to be back in the cage circle. Really excited.
You were previously ranked atomweight and now you're not in the rankings. Do you feel that was warranted? And do you feel you can make a case to get yourself back in that top 5?
Well, I just need to show everything in September 3rd, and I hope I can be back in that ranking.
And what do you think about the one women's atomweight World Grand Prix? Why do you think that you were passed over as a contender for the tournament?
I think the Grand Prix has a really good faces. I think it's important to give chance to new faces, young athletes. So I think they selected those kind of new faces.
We're going to go now to Leon Jennings of Asian Persuasion MMA.
As a pioneer of women's MMA, how important was it for you to be on this card Friday night, One Empower?
Yeah, you know, it's a very big thing to have one championship to get the only women's card event, and I think I need to get the exciting match performance and get all the ladies get ready for that tournament.
Of course, but it's been a year and a half since you competed against Denice Zamboanga. What did you learn in that fight and what improvements can we expect to see from you?
I did a lot of boxings and go through all the skills in any situation. So I hope I have a chance to show that.
Cool, nicely. You're obviously an alternate for the Grand Prix. Out of the 8 ladies that are starting in the Grand Prix, who would you say is the favourite in your mind?
I know Seo Hee for a long time, and I fought her too. So I kind of cheer for her. But all the ladies, they're special, and I hope they have a great chance to have the challenge the title.
Up next is Jude Briosses from Overtime Heroics MMA. Go ahead, Jude.
I said, how do you feel now that at the age of 38, you're fighting in the Grand Prix and having what may be your last shot at the one women's atomweight belt?
I don't really care about the ages. You know, age is just a number. And I believe that I have a lot of skills to show regardless of my age. I think, you know, Grand Prix will have a lot of good fighters and they will have chance. But, you know, since it's a tournament, you won't know what will happen. So if there's someone who got injury or something happens, I'll be ready to get in that spot.
We go now to Jack Gottsell from Tops Off Sports.
Hi, May. I've noticed in 2 of your last 3 victories, you have gotten the win via armbar. Is that a technique that you've been working and improving on? I know you also had an armbar finish back in 2013. Do you possibly see another armbar finish in this upcoming fight?
Yeah, armbar is a thing I always look for, but hopefully I can show other techniques and striking too.
Up next is Raj Shankar from Essentially Sports. Off you go, Raj.
Obviously, you've got a career-defining fight ahead of you, but you already have achieved it all in the sport. You are one of the true veterans of Asian MMA. Now, looking back at the fight against Angela Lee, which you lost by unanimous decision, many felt that the decision could have gone either way. Do you feel that you need to get a win over Angela Lee to, like, is it a very important fight for you, or do you just look at it like just any another scrap?
Well, yeah, the fighting against Angela Lee is very exciting all the time, and if I have a chance, I would love to. The Angela Lee and Mei Yamaguchi 3 will be pretty exciting, but that's not the only thing I always look for. Even if I have a chance to fight other fighters, I would love to. I just need to do whatever I need to do at that time.
Okay, and you've been a Jackie Chan fan all your life. Like you've always told about your love for Jackie Chan. So in a post-retirement career, like can we expect you to see in some sort of action movies? Like if you ever get an offer to work with Jackie Chan, or maybe in some other sort of action flick, will you ever accept it?
Yeah, of course. I love his movie, and since I was a kid, I always try to do think he did, but yeah, it's fun to watch his movie, and I love to be in that movie sometimes if I have a chance.
Next up, we go to Dylan Bowker of My MMA News.
I'm just curious because you have, great success in Grand Prix in the past with Deep Jewels. He also won that tournament with, Valkyrie, winning their featherweight title as well. I mean, how important would it be to become part of this Grand Prix fold here, just in the sense of you seem to have a lot of tournament success?
Well, it's the quickest way to challenge the title. So if there's a chance, I would love to be in the part of the Grand Prix anytime. And it's always exciting, the fighting against the new faces. And if you won the first round, you see another fighters in second round, and you will know who will come, and that's all the time exciting for the fighter and for the audiences. So Grand Prix is pretty fun. So this time it's one match for me, but I'm always looking for a chance to be in there.
And just as a quick follow-up, because I was noticing there was multiple times that you were supposed to compete with Meng Bo and, canceled for a myriad of different reasons. Is that a matchup you'd like to have at some point in the one circle, or is it kind of just you'll test skills against whoever and you don't think of it through that kind of lens? I guess I'm curious just because I imagine you've diligently studied to fight her.
Yeah, I'll fight anyone, but yeah, fighting against Meng Bo, it's pretty exciting. She's a great striker, and I would love to challenge her.
Our next question comes via text from Tom Taylor of Bleacher Report. Do you think your upcoming fight with Mezabarba will go the distance, or is somebody going to get KO'd or submitted? Without revealing too much of your strategy, what have you got planned for her?
I'm guessing she's pretty strong and physical. She has pretty aggressive striking. So, well, I want to show my skills in boxing too, but if I can submit her, that's the best way.
You mentioned earlier Seo Hee Ham. Having gone the distance with her and having been in those two legendary fights with Angela Lee, a lot of fans are very excited about Seo Hee Ham in one championship. Which do you think is the superior fighter, Angela or Ham?
It's kind of hard to guess. Both have their special techniques, and both are great. So it's hard to guess. But well, if Angela Lee defend the title, that shows that her greatness, and really that it will show that she's really special, especially against Ham So-hee. But Ham So-hee fought in so many places, and I don't know, if she gets the title, that's really exciting too.
Our next question comes in from Nick Atkin of SCMP MMA.
So Mei, I just wanted to know, how long have you known you're going to be a part of this tournament as an alternate, and how difficult has it been to stay ready with all the cancellations and then all the delays and changes and things like that?
Until the last moment, you won't know what will happen in these kind of tournaments. So I'll be ready all the time. And first I was gonna fight in May, but it was a lot of delays and cancels. But I take this time really positive, and I had really good time to learn new techniques and go over every single technique that I need to learn. So it was pretty good time for me.
And what's your mindset now? If you get this win, are you almost expecting, do you have to expect that you're going to come into this tournament at some point And given we have seen the Grand Prix with the lightweights, with the men fell apart quite a lot a couple of years ago, you almost expecting in a way that you might actually get in there somehow.
Yeah, of course. You know, I know a lot of fighters won the tournament from the alternative, so look for that chance too.
May, we already mentioned Seo Hee Ham, but a lot of people picking that Denice Zamboanga fight as potentially the most exciting fight in the Grand Prix.
Mhm.
Do you agree with that? Which fight are you most keeping an eye on as a martial artist? Which one appeals to you?
You know, every card has really interesting thing to watch, but yeah, I agree with that. Zamboanga and Hamasohi is the most exciting match in the first round. It's like a final. I feel like that card is a final for the tournament.
Denice kind of came out of nowhere in her trajectory and won championship. She was young. She stacked up the victories and got that #1 contender spot. Have you been impressed or surprised by her progress?
Yes, it's very impressive and surprising. She's physically strong. Her heart is a true warrior. But yeah, I'm really curious how she's gonna fight against Ham So-hee and how Ham So-hee is going to stop that.
We have a text question coming in from Derek Wright, who says, having spent time in the US and Asia, what do you think is the best way for one to grow its USA presence?
Oh, that's pretty hard question. Well, you know, USA has a lot of events, and they have a lot of good MMA fighters. So there are a lot of few of the fighters coming from USA. So I hope they will send more to One Championship.
You've been part of different moments in history at One Championship. Mentioned the Angela Lee fights earlier, arguably some of the greatest MMA matchups ever. How does it feel to be on this all-women's card, another piece of history and power? Does it feel special to you and does it give you pride?
Yes, it's very special. You know, fighting long in this mixed martial art, I saw a lot of women's fight, and it's always getting better. And now it's getting better and better. And One Championship has this special event, so I'm pretty exciting to be in the card.
You had your first MMA fight in 2007. Now there's so many young up and coming talents entering the game. Itsuki Hirata is only 21. Have you noticed a change in the level of these young mixed martial artists? And when they step in, do they seem more well-rounded? How does the level compare with when you first stepped into the game?
Yeah, all the young athletes has great technique, and they learn really fast because MMA is growing too, you know. But the important thing is how long you can continue to learn that new thing and keep improving. So yeah, I hope all the young athletes will keep challenging and make the history.
We have a text question coming in from Ivan Stewart of Dugout Philippines, who says, assuming that you get inserted into the Grand Prix, would you want to face the winner of Seo versus Zamboanga?
Yeah. Of course, I would like to challenge. I'll be curious.
I mentioned Itsuki Hirata earlier, who's your countrywoman, who I guess currently is the representative of Japan in the tournament. Is that an interesting one for you, both being representing Japan and you could be the second representative if things turn out well? Just how good is she, do you think?
She's really talented and very aggressive in any, like, on her feet and on the ground. So I think she's really good, but I'm not sure. It depends on the opponent probably. So I think this time it's her time to show her level.
Given how closely your own fate is intertwined with the goings on of the Grand Prix, have you been keeping a close eye on it? And were you surprised to see Ritu Phogat earn her way back into the tournament?
That was really, I thought that was really good, the good thing for her to get back in the tournament. I hope similar thing happens to me too.
You've seen many illustrious belts in your career. The One Championship Grand Prix belt is pretty special. Where does it rank in terms of the most beautiful belts in the sport, do you think?
Oh, I think that's the best. I saw the picture. I think it says 12 kilos, I think. So that's pretty gorgeous. And I think that's the best one I've seen ever.
This card very much is promoting women in MMA. Do you think that's something you'd like to see more of in the future, all female cards? Do you think that's a good way to give a platform for the best martial artists on the planet that are women?
It's great to have these kind of events continuously, but I think women's card should be in the male's card too, like we usually do. I think we need both.